1 week ago, the Skip Barber 2K World Cup had its final round of its most recent championship here at Monza, set just outside of Milan in northern Italy. Now, we head back to Monza for something that only happens once every 13 weeks. It's a Skip Barber 2K World Cup Eliminator, and it rounds off an iRacing.com triple header here on RaceSpotTV. Our coverage will start after these messages.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
So far today on an iRacing triple header here on RaceSpotTV, we have seen round 14 of the iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. We paid our respects to Justin Wilson in the Justin Wilson 150 at Texas Motor Speedway, and now it all goes crazy with the Skip Barber 2K World Cup Eliminator. It's right here for the next hour or so on RaceSpotTV. Will Vincent, Adam Barth, and Paul Smith. Qualifying is underway here at Monza. Drivers, well, they have got themselves, as always, a couple of laps to go as fast as they absolutely, possibly can. We've got a packed grid. 41 drivers are attempting to qualify. You'll see on the left-hand side of your screens just how fast the lap times are. We're running the junior layout here, which essentially means you go through turn 1, you're on the back stretch. Then you go down to the parabolica, you turn right, there you are, there's a lap in the books. It's going to be fast-paced, it's going to be real fun to watch, and we'll be with you every step of the way. We're right on board with Felipe Barber in the number 27 car. He's P4 in qualifying right now, as these drivers are going to try and get themselves as close to the top of the timing stands as they can. Well, you can't really do a lot in 57.4 seconds, unless you're Clark Williams, when you go to the top of the timing stands there, Adam.
Yeah, fastest lap at the moment, 57.497. Monza Junior layout. Never seen a real-life series race on this layout before. And I have to say, I think we're going to be in for a fantastic race. The last time we were at the Monza race circuit, the Autodromo Monza, a few weeks ago, the top three were separated by 0.02 of a second. And I think the same could happen tonight, even with this Eliminator format.
Yeah, the way this format is going to work is that drivers essentially will start the race. Then we get ourselves to lap number 5 or so, and then at the end of every lap pool we lose the last car on the racetrack. So if they're a lap down, they'll be disqualified anyway. But if they are on the lead lap and they're the last driver in line, you then basically get eliminated from the race, and that means we have 2 battles here. We have the battle out front and the battle to stay in the race, especially because turn 1 is just a little bit tricky here.
It's a really tight corner, is this turn 1. It's, as you say, it's not the normal layout, so they're just cutting right just after the pit exit, so it gets a bit tight and narrow through that section. So hopefully there won't be too many incidents that will affect people's races, because of course you want to get in front of the guys to move up the field, but you also want to keep your car damage free, because if you get damage on that car, you're risking elimination.
Indeed, there we are. I'm Griffin, we're just riding along board with him in the number 33 car. We're just having a look. Michelle Mancusi is currently the fastest driver on the racetrack. Have a look then at this magnificent racing facility. Our aerial coverage here today is brought to you by And1 Design, the official graphics partner of RaceSpotTV. And well, there is a look. As you just have a look, we'll zoom it out and you can see very small footprint overall. That is basically the final corner, the Parabolica. You can see there just on the left hand side of your screen, that is the historic oval that, well, it was at one point part of the official Grand Prix layout. It decided quite rightly that it was just a little bit too dangerous for Formula cars, but actually you can see just how small this footprint is, and I'll just show you exactly what we're talking about here. Turn 1 onto the back straightaway, it's that area there. So actually they're only using that part of the racing layout. It's not much at all. Very small layout, and these drivers, well, most of them have now done their qualifying times. You do have to take it back. It's 4 laps that they're getting, not the usual 2, mainly because of the fact it's such a small lap here, Paul.
Yeah, this is a small lap. I mean, we're still going at the moment with some of them doing their final laps, but currently the top time of 56.909, so it is a quick lap. It's going to be fast, it's going to be furious, it's going to be epic racing.
Well, there you can see Ricardo Farrier is going to complete himself a lap. He's down in P27, normally a little bit higher up through your field. Then you see number 34 car completing a run as well. Number 22 machine, this is Daniel DeVos there, heading himself back down in towards pit road. Most drivers have now completed their runs. Luke Willin is pretty much the last driver, the Australia-New Zealand driver, heading himself actually on towards pit road as well. Well, that is qualifying for all intents and purposes in the books. Jan Mormard is just going to complete final lap there. In the number 42 machine, moves himself up into P number 5, Adam.
Yeah, good lap from him, 56.951. How you can see there that the top 6 have all done 56.9s. And other things to notice is that once again, rolling start for this race, so the cars will be going at a full pace really going into that turn 1, and too wide into that first corner, as Paul Smith was saying, very tight to go in that first corner. Could be some wrecks. I'm predicting wrecks.
There could be some carnage, there could be some chaos, but hey, it's week 13. We're used to a little bit of fun here in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. Let's have a look then. The starting grid for this evening's event. Well, you can see pole position will go to the 5132 I-rated Michelle Mancusi. Alongside on the front row will be Michael Lamarux. Adam Peck in third and Barry Morrison in P number 4. We have a look back and you can see in row number 3 you're going to have yourself Jan Mahmoud and Simon Schultz with Luis Quintana and Jorge Gomez in row number 4. Fahim Atinides and Jose Blanco, row 5. Felipe Leibert, Clark Williams, row number 6. Then it's Paul Malokas and Colin Van Ram, Clovic Pye, Ronald Griffin, Jan Laparat, Rob Adams and Arden De Verde, and Bill Fraser rounding out your top 10 rows overall. Have a look a little bit further back. We've got ourselves a couple of minutes before we get ourselves ready for the start of today's action. Well, likely we are looking at somewhere in the region of about a 1 hour race here today, Paul. There will be a couple of safety cars. Safety cars will be called out for any wreck which involves more than 2 or 3 drivers and or blocks the track. And with 41 drivers, what we normally see is we have a period of time where the field will spread itself out. There'll be 1 or 2 incidents. I think if we can get ourselves 3 or 4 laps green, eliminations then become just a little bit more, I don't know the right way of saying it, organic, shall we say. We're not having to rely on safety cars as much.
Yeah, you're not having to have that artificial element, there you go, that's a nice one, of the safety car to bring the field in. Interesting to note that the top 34 drivers on this grid is separated by 1 second, and that just shows you how close this field is. It's going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to this race.
Well, Will, if we saw the amount of overtakes on the last Eliminator race that we did, and that was on the full Monza circuit, it depends what you mean by settle down the racing, I think.
Indeed so. Indeed so. Got a couple of drivers then still on track. No, actually, they're all pretty much done now. There we are. We can see one of them on pit road. That is Daniel de Vos in the number 22 machine. Get ourselves then another look at the racetrack here. You can see the remnant of that oval as well. And this track is such a storied history. Has run pretty much every form of racing. Open wheel, it's run itself touring cars, it's run itself endurance racing. We've seen it run on the Blanchimont series, of course. Probably the most famous thing I remember about the Blanchimont series, Adam, is Russian drivers, if they're going to buy a ride, they still need to learn how to use the brake pedal.
Oh, yeah, who could forget that GT3 race a few seasons ago? And was it Marin Kolak? Or? No, that might have been his name. Yeah. Yeah, completely just lost his head in the gravel, I think, more times than he was on the actual tarmac. And yeah, he did help to spice the racing up, and I wonder if we'll see any of that tonight. Hopefully not.
Yeah, I think the thing that upset me more than that was the fact that he was doing so much damage to a really nice looking Ferrari. So you got to bear that one in mind. As you can see, well, drivers are now on the starting grid. Just waiting for the remainder of them to do so. We are going to take a quick 30-second commercial. We shall be right back.
It's been a very long off-season. Teams have changed, sponsors have changed, colors and all, but one thing that hasn't, they like to mash the loud pedal. Green flag is out on the 2015 NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series season.
iRacing is the ideal platform for these broadcasts because we have the best racers, the best online racers in the world, and we have such a variety of racing, from NASCAR to Grand Prix style racing, sports car endurance racing. We do it all.
Since 2010, the iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series has been the absolute pinnacle of road racing in a simulated form. Great start then by Yakoda from the front. They're packing up behind number 1. They're going to be 4 wide as they come down into turn number 1 for the first time. Will they make it through that first corner? You can see them funneling through the center S's. It looks as though everyone is just about made it through. We have got ourselves some contact though, Rachel.
Side by side going into turns 3 and 4. Humpy's got the advantage, but Otten just not going to.
Oh, he got into him!
Sure gets into the 58, turns right into him, and that ends Otten.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, having a look as we get ourselves ready for the start. Now, this is that tricky section we were telling you about. It's narrow down here. And also, pace car, we'll talk about that. It's going gold for the next 13 weeks. Support a charity. We'll talk about that first time. We get ourselves a caution. We work ourselves under caution. Oh, there's a trouble back end of the racetrack already. Got a couple of people turn around there. That's the 043. We've got more.
Yeah.
Oh, we got another 2 drivers there. So, it's a bit like a Formula 3 race, I remember. I think it was actually at this racetrack when they pretty much cancelled on those events. We've got a couple of beat up and banged up race cars. They will come on towards pit road and they'll try and get themselves some repairs. One driver I saw definitely involved in that was Seymour Harding earlier. And there we can see, having a look down the pack, the 043 car is one of the most affected of the lot. But let's go back out front and let's see Michelle Mancusi. Now, there is a twist to this event. We'll let the pace car come on towards pit road. We will let this event get itself underway and we'll talk about the other twist in this racing, because that's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. Pace car comes down and towards pit road. The green lights will come on. The green flag will come out. We are going to go racing here at legendary Monza. Green flag into the air for the first time. Now, what we need to talk about is the fact that all of these drivers are having to come on towards pit road in the next 5 laps. Now, depending on your row number, will depend on how many seconds you must stay on pit road. That means the drivers at the front end of the field, they'll have to stay on for 20 seconds. Those at the rear of the field for just 1 second. That will spice things up just a little bit. It's really going to bunch this pack up together. You can see already ducking and weaving down to the Parabolica for the first time. Couple of free wide actions already down in your mid-pack. Drivers just squabbling for position here, Paul.
Yeah, they're all just ganging up, trying to get positions wherever they can in that mid-pack, as you say. They're it's all tactical as this black flag thing as well, because if you build up a little bit of a gap and take your black flag stop-go penalty late, you may be able to gain a bit more time on the guys who are in front of you who may take it earlier.
Or
it's all tactical as well.
Or if you've got a dance part, trouble on the rear of the racetrack there, front pack, that's Jan Mahmood, and this is a big incident. This could well bring the caution out. You got half the track blocked there. You got Mahmood who is involved in it. There you can see Jan Mahmood. Now, the good thing are these drivers are, for the most part, doing the one thing you always do there, Adam. You keep the brake on. You don't try and move around the racetrack to scarper back on. Well, we've got a couple of beat-up cars early in this event. Jan Mahmood is one of those, but you've got a number of drivers on pit road here. Andrew Kinsella is on pit road. You've also got yourself Tucker Stewart, Gilbert Mario already having made pit stops, Lan Laporette as well. A lot of these drivers had damage at the start of this event.
Yeah, Philip Leibert was one as well. I think he just lunged down the inside on lap number 1 and ended up in the Armco Barry in turn 1. And you can see there Barry Morrison, the number 41 grey car. He's just trying to limp the car back. He was in 4th place at the beginning of the lap, and now he's just tumbling down the order. Big contacts for him on lap number 2.
Well, here is Ryan Devlin. He has had to bring his car on towards pit road because he has got a damaged race car. You can see there's a couple of them who are damaged. We've got a big number of drivers on pit road. Let's run through them then. Jose Blanco is on pit road. Simon Schultz, Clark Williams, Carthage Pye, Ron Griffin, Arjun DeVerd, Bill Fraser, Ryan Devlin. So many of them are on pit road. It's hard to keep contact with. And the good thing is for some of these drivers, if they come out in a pack, they're not going to lose too much time, Adam.
Yeah, and the rule is, though, that if they fall a lap down, they're instantly disqualified. So as long as they don't fall a lap down, they're able to continue racing. The leaders, though, they have decided not to serve their black flag mandatory penalty yet. They're just coming across the line now to complete their 3rd lap. They've got 2 laps to go to serve their penalty, and it already looks like a battle between Mancusi and Lamoureux as they head into turn 1.
Yeah, Fahim Atanides there almost ran into the attenuator. Another huge gaggle of cars on pit road this time going to make their stop. It means that we've realistically got 2 drivers out front. Actually, no, we've got a couple more. I'll take that back. We've got Martin Pett, Lewis Contenna, Fahim Atanides, Paul Malokas, Colin Van Ram, Ricardo Ferrer has made pit stops already. Your top 3 drivers have yet to pit. This is where things start to get very interesting. We're going to ride on board with Michael Lamoureux. He's 7 tenths of a second behind Michel Mancusi right now. There's traffic all over the place. It's hard to keep an eye out yet. This is why when we start eliminating drivers, it's going to be crazy for the first couple of moments. But Michel Mancusi, we expect him to come on towards pit road this time by. Indeed he does. Michael Lamoureux is going to do exactly the same. Let's see, Joshua Anderson should follow them all in. Indeed they do. That is all of your drivers on pit road now, Paul.
Yep, so they're all serving their penalties, but it was really crucial that they were able to use the tow from those back markers to able to get a bit more speed. So hopefully they wouldn't lose too much time. It's really thrown a spanner in the works though as this format, and it's certainly giving us some racing to watch.
Yep, there you can see Mancusi on pit road. Go ahead, Adam.
Ricardo Farri is a car placed in 4th place, and he's the first car to have already served his pit stop. So he's just coming out of the Parabolica now. It's going to be interesting to see where the front 3 come out compared to Farrier now.
Yeah, well, Mancusi 21.5 seconds out and away. So it looks as though that Mancusi should just about get this one. Although there, look at that gaggle of cars right there coming in towards turn 1. Mancusi will just get out ahead of a couple of them, but Farah will technically lead this motor race. No, Anderson does, because of the fact he started down mid-pack. Incredible run there, pulled by Joshua Anderson.
Yeah, absolutely getting on it, and as we said, it was a tactical thing. If you can serve the time well, and some of those mid-pack guys, you know, there with the lower time penalties, it brings them up to the front. So as the yellow flag comes out now for the safety car.
Yep, so first caution of the day. Now everyone's done their first stop. We'll reset things. We'll slow it down the next couple of laps, and then after that, elimination shall start to occur. 4 drivers are already out of this race. Jacob Magers, Mattia Branchi, Fabio Trubran, and Dakota Fripp. 4 drivers are classified as 1 lap down. They will be given a wave round, which will keep them in the race for the time being. They are Barry Morrison, Seymour Harding, Gilbert Morio, and Jonathan Howe. That means there are currently 33 drivers on the lead lap, although Bill Fraser looks as though his race pretty much could be done. He's on pit road. This is a very long stop, actually, for that number 39 Elf racing car. We've got 2 drivers on pit road as we speak. Jonathan Howe is the other one of those. So here you can see at the front of your field, the field is now backed up behind the iRacing.com first safety car for the first time in this evening's event. And we talked about it a moment ago, Adam, going gold with the iRacing.com first safety car. And it is to race funds in support of families affected by childhood cancer, which is using the golden livery of the American Childhood Cancer Organization. That'll be for the next 3 months throughout the 2015 Season 4 on iRacing.
Yeah, the American Childhood Cancer Organization, nation's largest grassroots organization at the forefront of a crucial battle against childhood cancer. I think it's a great initiative by the iRacing service to do this. Of course, we see the iRacing.com safety car at the front of the pack in many forms of racing, be it on the ovals and the road courses, and especially in GT racing as well. So great initiative by the service, and it will definitely help promote a very important issue across the world.
And also, it proves that you can have golden coloured cars here on the iRacing.com service. As we just have a look, the lights are actually off atop that safety car. Paul, you ready for some fun?
Always ready for fun. It's a very quick safety car, that actually, wasn't it? So that bodes well if we do have to have a safety car, for instance. Just quick turn around and get racing again.
Well, here we are. Let's have a look at your fields. They come down in towards turn 1. Left-hand side of your screen, there are your top 20. Anderson from Farrier, from Lardy, Witten, Mancusi, Ram, Peck, De Verde, Bonnet, and Seat. It's going to be crazy here, Adam, and the one thing you don't want to do is be a mid-pack driver who messes up turn 1.
Oh, the lights are back on the safety car, so we're going round again. I think this is just to give time for the cars that are a lap down to get their lap back. So another lap, I think, or another 2 or so, and then we'll be back racing. But yeah, to your point, cars in the midfield, that's going to be very difficult for them because they don't want to be the last car, but then they don't want to sustain damage as well. And I think really they need to use their heads and think about making sure that they do not get any damage in this first lap when we go back racing. Interesting though that Josh Anderson has decided to go around the safety car, so
not quite sure what he's doing there.
yeah, because that now means that Ricardo Faria is the car in front of the pace car. So,
well, it actually does mean that Joshua Anderson currently is leading this race almost by a lap. Is he going to slow this car down, or is he just going to dance off into the sunset and not care about the fact there's a safety car out there? Not quite sure. We'll figure it out. I've got a feeling there might have been an issue there from race control, so we'll try and get that one sorted out as quickly as we can. But there you can see Ricardo Farah is technically scored in second. He's the first car behind the pace car. So those lights came off and they've gone back on again, Paul.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to sort this out, get everybody in position and where they need to be, and give those guys who are a lap down the wave around so that they can get to the back of the pack. I mean, we had lots of talk in Formula 1 of the delays a couple of years ago with letting the back markers get right back up to the back of the pack, so they'll just be delayed for another lap or so.
Yeah, there is Joshua Anderson. I wouldn't be surprised to see him... No, he's not going to come in towards pit road, so he is going to go to the rear of the field for the time being. Still lots to do. Still lots to try and figure out here. Whilst we have the chance then, ladies and gentlemen, let's just recap what has been an incredibly busy day here on RaceSpotTV. And of course, it started with another round of the iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. If you missed that one, check it out on iRacing.com's official YouTube page. It was a great battle. Gregor Hutu struggled in qualifying. It was Corander's day, but it wasn't the result people would expect. There's a little bit of controversy there in the mix as well, because of the fact that, well, we had one driver let another driver go past to give some drivers a point. It wasn't team orders. It was done by one driver just helping out a teammate. But of course, you've always got that thing that we like to call the spirit of the rules. Then afterwards, we honoured the legacy and the life of Justin Wilson here on RaceSpotTV and on iRacing Live, bringing you two fantastic races. The Justin Wilson 150, a 100-lap event from Texas Motor Speedway that saw a multiple-time NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series champion, Ray Alfala, go to victory lane. The first time he's ever run the Dallara DW12 at Texas Motor Speedway, comes out on top, and what was a crazy battle with Tim Holgate at the end of that event. So it's been an incredible day of racing so far. We've still got one race to go tomorrow, as we're going to bring you some Gallon or Tweakers endurance racing. That'll be RaceSpotTV Sunday, and that'll be here only on RaceSpotTV. Well, got to figure out what's happened. Anderson is back in the pack, classified as your race leader, but I think he's a lap ahead of everyone else. So timing and scoring issues still to sort out here. Just trying to get all that confirmed for you, so we can just have a look there. We're just going to reset this, so we can see your leader is Joshua Anderson. By the looks of it, still the first driver behind the pace car is Ricardo Farah. So we're just working under extended caution whilst race control get that one sorted out. Whilst we do that, we'll be back in just one moment.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Never miss a moment of RaceSpotTV side by side. Well, we're still under a caution. We've got Joshua Anderson on pit road. We think timing and scoring should sort itself out in just a couple of moments' time. You can see these people weaving. Well, what it does mean is this race will be lengthened by a couple of laps. I'm a little bit surprised. I've not really seen many people duck down on towards pit road to try and top off Adam.
Yeah, the race organisers have said that they will throw a competition caution during the race to allow guys to come into the pits and refuel, because it's almost a certainty that that's going to happen. But yeah, interesting to see no one roll the dice. I think everyone just keeping their cars close to their chest really at the moment. Joshua Anderson has just exited the pit lane now and is working his way around. Still shown as the leader on my timing and scoring, however I'm sure that will somehow refresh itself. Ricardo Faria though still leading the field around. We'll see if the lights will go out on the safety car this time around. And they do, so we're 1 lap away from going back racing, Will.
Yeah, now it is worth noting that Anderson should be the leader of this race on pure merit. I think they're just going to get this race, get itself underway and then sort it out the next time we have a caution, to be fair. But as it stands, it is Anderson from Farah from Lardy. Then it's Witten, Mancusi and Ram. Peck, Verd, Bonnet and Seat are your top 10. We have a couple of people who are out of the race. We talked about this already. Jacob Magos, Matthew Bruntini, Paybrot Subran and Dakota Fripp. We've got some people 1 lap down who I think they're just going to give a little bit of leeway for the time being, and then they're going to start in a couple of laps time doing the eliminations. Anderson has come back on towards pit road. Ricardo Farah, the lights are still off on the pace car, so hopefully, just hopefully, we might go racing. It's been a bit of a long caution here, longer than what most of these drivers have thought about. Let's hope that their mental stimulus will still be okay when they storm down in towards turn number 1 in just about 30 seconds time. You can see it's about 4 wide that you can go here at Monza. So these drivers are going to have quite a bit of room to play with. They've got 2 very big braking zones on both ends of the racetrack that will slow things down, and these drivers have to make sure that they keep it together and keep in line through those sections of the racetrack. The Parabolica, yes, you can go 3 wide, but if you are going to do that, we saw last week on Sunday Night Skippies, very easy for a couple of people to end up in the gravel or into the wall. Number 12 machine, Gillian Lardy, Ricardo Farah. They are now in the pits, and here we go then. Finally, we go back to green flag racing here in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup, and look at this already. Let's go 4 wide in towards turn number 1. Then there's a bit of a jump there by Colin Van Ram as they come down in towards turn number 1. That will be okay. We will stay in line for the time being. As far as it goes, yes, Anderson is still leading the way by 44 seconds. We're going to focus on the battles anyway. It will sort itself out when we get ourselves a caution. Looks as though most of our drivers are through the first couple of corners without any issue at all there, Paul.
Yeah, it was always a worry that we'd have some form of issue with the cars, but everybody making it through, so everyone behaving, that's good to see, and some nice clean racing so far. As you say, going 3 and 4 wide on that down that start finish straight into that first corner. It's not an easy corner to go that wide, 3 wide in.
Yeah, the positive sim racing car, Ricardo Farah, been riding on board with him on the exit of the chicane. Now Anderson has come back on towards pit road. We've got 2 wide behind. They can see Jose Blanco in the number 2 car, heading himself down in towards that first corner. Side by side, he is right now riding on board of him. You can just see to the left-hand side of your car. That is a number 36 machine of Michelle Mancusi, of course, started this race on pole position. We're getting to the point where in a couple of laps time we will start the elimination phase of this event. So things are going to finally sort itself out into some fun. And Colin Howell is a driver who's currently scored 1 lap down in this event. So as it stands, he will be the first driver eliminated, Adam.
Yeah, and I think that's really what's going to happen. I think literally this lap we will start to see the cars drop out of the race. Ian De Vries has just emerged from the pits as well as Martin Peck. Are those guys still on the lead lap? I believe so. So Joshua Anderson, poor Joshua Anderson, served his penalty and has practically lost all that advantage that he had from taking that early pit stop and that early penalty. Faria then leads them over the line. Lardy in second, Mancusi in third, Blanco fourth, Witten in 5th, and it looks like there's been a problem for Colin Van Ram because he's now just dropped down my timing screen. Yeah,
we've also got Michael Lamarox has had himself an incident. He is out of the car for the time being. In fact, he is out of the event as it stands. Jonathan Howell is the driver who is technically scored, yet is 1 lap down. He's going for the time being because Lamarox is technically behind as they work themselves past the start-finish line. And Joshua Anderson is falling right to the rear of the field. So it looks like he could be the first driver out there, Paul.
It'd be criminal if it was, because difficult, because our timing screen was showing him in the lead at that safety car, so that's going to be a bit of pill to swallow if he is eliminated.
Yeah, certain technical issues for that car just a moment ago as well. It looks as though he is now behind the 8 ball, although you have got another driver on pit road. That is Chris Malcolm, and that might mean that Anderson gets to hold on for 1 more lap. And let's have a look there. Pit stop time for Malcolm. This is going to be critical. He's going to have to get that car back out quickly, otherwise he will be eliminated. All drivers except for one have now gone past. That is the driver of Anderson. Anderson's onto the pit road as well. That would mean that by our watch, Anderson is going to be eliminated from today's event. So Joshua Anderson, from going from first, he ends up in 35th, and he has got his day now completely done. Although we have got ourselves the driver of Malcolm has actually just come out of the car as well, so he will be classified as out of the event. Let's have a look a little bit further back up through your field. 8 tenths per second between Ricardo Ferrer and Julian Lardy. And Adam, you can't win the race right now. We know there's going to be another caution. You can figure out though how your car works and see if there's any way you can pull out a gap.
And you can get time to know your enemy as well. I'm sure Julian Lardy is just watching what Ricardo Farrier is doing, knows what corners he is good and what is his weaknesses. And you can see already he's done a pretty good job of closing him in through this half a lap. In the background as well, great battle unfolding for best of the rest. We've got Michel Mancusi in 3rd, Jose Blanco in 4th, Bonnet in 5th, and Clark Williams in 6th, and just everyone else behind as well. The slipstreaming game is on. These skip barbers can get up to 135 miles an hour plus down these fastest parts of the circuit. And as you can see, the number 2 car just looking down the inside of Mancusi going into the Parabolica. But as you were saying just a lap ago, no one showing their A game just yet.
One driver classified as 1 lap down. That is Josian Ibiza. Will be classified as out of the race in a moment's time. To the race lead then. Here comes Julian Lardy down in towards turn number 1. Julian Lardy now leads this motor race, although Farrer is going to try and come back immediately there in towards turn number 1. Wide line being taken by Lardy, but he will be able to keep that lead just for the moment. Now, we talked about a driver being scored as a lap down. There is Jose Ibiza. He is scored a lap down. He should well be eliminated within the next couple of moments. So that will be 31 drivers remaining in the event, Paul.
Yeah, it's now starting to come thick and fast. These laps are pretty fast to go by. So yeah, we're starting to get those eliminations coming now. Jan Mahmoud, to apologise, Jan. He's currently now the car at the back of the pack by about 3 seconds. So he's got a bit of work on to try and catch Andrew Kinsella.
Yeah, Ibiza has now indeed been eliminated as they work themselves down in towards turn number 1 again. Next driver to be eliminated, well, it is going to be this one. It is Jan Mahmoud, and he is out of the event. 30 drivers now remaining in today's field. Next driver going to be out, Andrew Kinsella by the looks of it. And that's going to be a bit of a shock because Kinsella we know to be a good driver, Adam. Unfortunately, just not his day. I think he was involved in that issue at the very start of the event.
Yeah, he didn't seem to be showing the pace really at all this race meeting. 39th in practice, 34th in qualifying, and he's only been able to make it up to 30th in the race. So yeah, he should just work his way through Parabolica now, and he will be eliminated from the race. But after him, it starts to get interesting. We've got 2 cars battling over what will be last place. Arjen de Vries and Martin Peck. They are battling now through this section of the course that separates the front straight from the back straight out and down towards the Parabolica. This is now the battle for last.
Yeah, let's have a look. There's Arjun de Vert. They're going to go side by side on the run down into the Parabolica. Well, we're talking about photo finish cameras at the end of races. Not here with just 17 laps scored complete, 18 for your race leaders. But it looks as though that De Verde might be able to hold on for another lap. It could well be, though, that for De Verde, it's just stemmingly bleeding for one moment out the final corner. Who's it going to be? Number 40 machine is going to have the run. Where is the start-finish line as they come past the stripe? I think I need to get confirmation there. get this one. By 5
It was Peck.
1,000ths of a second, Peck was able to hold on. Eliminated will be Arjun de Bird by 5 1,000ths of a second, Adam.
I think actually
It was
it might have been Peck. It was
Oh,
Peck
wow.
that was disqualified. The gap at the line was, let me just do the maths,
12
12,000ths.
Wow.
De Vries was ahead by 12,000ths, so he was the one eliminated.
Well, Davida will be the next driver pretty much to be eliminated because of the fact he's 4.3 seconds behind Colin Van Ram, unless, of course, we get any attrition on this lap. We've got 1, 2 wide down in towards turn 1, 2 wide, 3 deep then. This is the battle at the front of your field. We always forget about this race is about the front of the field, but look at it. It's absolutely crazy right now, Paul. 2 wide in towards the run onto the back straightaway once again. This is where the Ascari chicane would normally be.
And yeah, absolutely, and this is what the effect of the draft does around Monza with these long straights. I mean, you just look down the field; it's just one long queue of cars. It must be the first 20 or 22 cars there in that one shot. It's absolutely fantastic to see all these cars battling away.
Barry Morrison, Rob Adams, this is down at the rear of the field. These are 2 drivers who are only about 5 minutes away from potentially being eliminated. So, down the middle to rear part of your field here, Paul, it's a game of I need to get moving now. So, these drivers say they're running in P20, P21. They know that the caution might not come out until they've been eliminated. So, they cannot afford to fight too hard because they need to catch up some gaps here. And I'm looking at the likes, for example, of Mike McCormick. He's 5.5 seconds behind Seymour Harding. He has to hope that people start going 2-3 wide around him. Otherwise, he will be eliminated in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, absolutely, and well, we've got a spinner out of the
Simon Schulz.
Yeah, Simon Schulz. Yeah, so that's thrown him down a bit. He's ahead of Mike McCormick. So I'm just see who's nearer the back, but not quite elimination spot yet. But yeah, that's not an ideal way of doing it. But yeah, you wanna start making that move forward if you're in that mid pack. And as much as you want to fight and get ahead of that person in front of you, you've got to work with the person in front of you to be able to jump the guys in front of them. You know, to keep in that tow and keep going.
I'll tell you what, if I was a race driver in this Eliminator format, I'd be getting pretty stressed because every race driver in this pack will be getting a message every lap telling them that another one's been knocked off, another one's been knocked off, and eventually it's going to be you, so they better get moving.
Jan Laprevot came onto pit road. He was involved in that incident with Schulz getting himself a new rear wing, but he's now at the rear of the field and he very easily could be classified as eliminated in just 1 lap time. Ryan Devlin out of the event then. He has just been eliminated, which is an interesting one to know because Devlin is a well-known figure in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. Having looked then with Gregory Gomez right down in the middle part of your top 10. You just talked about it a moment ago, Paul. So many of these drivers are pretty much just nose to tail to tail to tail to tail right now. And I think our aerial coverage sums that one up perfectly in towards turn 1. You get 1 or 2 people dancing out, but for the most part, they seem content to ride inside your top 10 for them out.
Yeah, I mean these guys at the front, they're not quite under the same pressure. They know that they've got to eventually move forward up the standings, but it's not as desperate as those that are further back. Those that are further back, they're really struggling and desperate to get the move up. But it's going to be tough for people like Matt McCormack and Tucker Stewart are currently battling because they're in the drop zone.
Lebevotte is out of the event, eliminated. Gilbert Mariano is the next one who will likely be eliminated. So, we started off with 41, we are down to 24 already. And whilst we did have a bit of an extended caution earlier on, all of a sudden, this action is thick and fast. On board, Luke Whitten battling it out with the number 8 car for Atenides. Atenides changing his paint scheme here, and I'm so used to him in Force India colours, he decided to go and switch to Red Bull.
Yeah, I wonder if his car will be able to last the race then, of something that Red Bull hasn't been able to do all season. And If he gets eliminated, that won't be any surprise at all. He's battling then away with Paul Malokas, heading it out down the straight towards the Parabolica. The car behind him, Luke Whitten, just puts a wheel or two into the grass on the exit, and then more slipstreaming behind. We've got Philip Leibert, who had problems at the start of the race, but in the background, another Red Bull liveried Skip Barber, it looks like. That's Daniel DeVos. He's battling away with the 043 car, Seymour Harding, and they could be attempting to go free wide into the Parabolica with the green 33 car looking on the outside. Everyone late on the brakes, and somehow they're able to do it.
Yeah. On the exit then of the Parabolica, heading themselves down towards the stripe once again. This is very close racing, and it's only going to be about 3-4 minutes before this pack is going to be the group eliminated. So you need to set yourself up and hope, and just hope that you get yourself that that caution at the right time to save your bacon and give yourself a shot at a restart. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers in that pack. You've got Seymour Harding, Daniel DeVos, Rob Adams, Ronan Griffin, and Simon Schulze. Next driver to be eliminated, well, it is this one. It is Mike McCormick out of the event. That means that Tucker Stewart is now the driver on the bubble, Adam.
Yeah, after he is put out of the way and Simon Schultz, we are going to be getting into some very interesting stuff. You can see how close all of these guys are, and in just 2 laps time, these are going to be the guys battling it out for that last place position. Voss, the green car of Ronan Griffin losing it on the entry to Parabolica, is able to save the car. Has he got too much damage? I think he might have, and he is now having to go into the pits.
Oh, that's going to be him out of the event. Replay coming up there, Paul. Talk us through it.
Yeah, so basically just getting a little bit out of shape coming into the Parabolica, going down the inside of the 22 car, and just lost control and into the barrier. That's caused a lot of damage on that front right, and yeah, that's going to be the end of their race. In fact, it is. He's been disqualified.
Yeah, and you can see Jenson Button had a very clumsy incident back in 2000 under caution. We've seen a couple of clumsy incidents under caution, but we see now that Ronan Griffin will be eliminated down in P number 22. That's almost half of the field eliminated. That will be the case next time, and it's Tucker Stewart back on the bubble, and unfortunately there's not really anyone who he can catch in the next corner. So take the pink and green and number 34 machine of Tucker Stewart, and this is what you do, Paul. You eliminate him.
Yep, out the race. Thanks a lot for coming. It's always tough being in an elimination race. We've been saying it's very stressful if you're in the mid pack or further down the field, and when you're running around on your own like Tucker was there, yeah, you just know that you've got no hope, and it's a matter of time.
Well, here, let's have a look. We've got some big movers at the front of your field, actually, side by side. Ian Bonnet and Ricardo Farah, 2 wide in towards Parabolica, Adam.
Yeah, and Blanco's been moving his way up through the pack. Started 10th, is now, well, was in the lead, but now he's lost a position down to 3rd. Farrier still leading for now, but Bonnet is looking right underneath that Skip Barber car. And who's that storming through on the inside? Gregoire Gomez. And Farrier's covered the inside line, but it looks like that bright green car has just got the legs on him, but Farrier is late on the brakes. They're still too wide as they head through this tight part of the lap. And are they going to sort each other out before we go onto the back straight down towards the Parabolica? You're still not over yet, but the race organisers have thrown a safety car, and this is going to bring everyone right back together, and we're going to do it all again.
So, Tucker Stewart was eliminated. Now, half the field have gone, half the field have got to battle it out. We go under caution, people have the opportunity to get a pit stop. Here's the interesting one, Paul. That pit stop, you're going to take some fuel. No one knows how much. You can save yourself a couple of seconds on pit road. That could be the difference between you fighting at the beginning of this run, or you being able to save some time and work yourself methodically to the front of the field.
Do you play it safe and top up with quite a bit of fuel, or do you skimp on the fuel and hope that the race is going to run shorter? Because as we've been saying, these laps are coming thick and fast, so it's going to be a tough one for them to decide what to do. And also, do you repair some damage while you're in there if you got some to help improve your chances of moving forward?
Indeed so. So here we are then, under caution for the second time here in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. Pit will be open this time by, as we're just having a look there to see that these drivers just waiting to catch up to the rear of the iRacing.com first safety car. There you can see your race leader, Ricardo Farah. Although Gomez, we have to give him credit, charging up through the field here today, Paul.
Yeah, started in 8th place and progressively made the way forward. But you look at that, Farrier started in 27th place and is now in the lead of this race. It's fantastic driving there, and just goes to show that qualifying isn't the be-all and end-all in this type of race.
Yeah. Some great performances here. Ricardo Farah will bring these field on towards pit road for what will be that one and only pit stop by the looks of it. So here we are.
Oh.
Let's get the entire field. No, not yet. Let's give them another lap, shall we say. Of course, not everyone's going to necessarily come on towards pit road. We do think they are going to need to get the fuel. This is a high fuel usage track, Paul, and of course standard Skip Barber 2K World Cup rules concerning fuel tank size are in use.
It's a very thirsty track as this. You get a lot of high fuel usage because you're practically on full throttle for pretty much the full lap. So yeah, they are going to have to pit at some time. But was this just a sort of like one to throw it in the mix by the organisers, just to close up that field to give people further down a bit of a chance to get back and have a go?
Well, yeah, because you can actually see the lights are off on top of the iRacing.com first safety car. So, Adam, they're actually going to go back to green flag racing in about 30 seconds' time.
Well, Simon Schultz and Daniel DeVos were on their own battling for last place, and this has given them a brilliant chance to get back to where they once belonged, with Rob Adams, Seymour Harding, Barry Morrison up in front of them, and then everyone else as well. So they've got a brilliant chance now to tow along in the slipstream and possibly get themselves away from that last place. Seymour Harding, Bill Fraser, Barry Morrison, I think you guys worried when this race goes back racing in just a few seconds' time.
Yep. So there we are, just waiting now for the last of these drivers to work themselves down through the Parabolica. There's a lovely look at your race leader. That is Ricardo Farah in the number 15 machine. Let's get ourselves ready to go back to racing here at Monza, just north of Milan here. As well, lights are off. It will dive on towards pit road to the left hand side, put the field back in the command of Ricardo Farah. 20 drivers remaining in this event. We'll start the eliminations after one lap of racing. Farah from Gomez from Bonnet, from Lardy from Blanco, they are the top 5 pole position driver. Mancusi is in P6. Green flag back in the air. Let's go back to racing and let's ride ourselves on board with Julian Lardy in towards turn 1, Adam.
Julian Lardy, yes, currently sitting in 4th position. He's already attacking Bonnet as we head through the tie and twisty section, and in 5th place Blanco watching eagerly as well. But of course we've got to keep our eyes focused in the battle between DeVos and Schultz as we head down onto the back straight and down towards the Parabolica. Schultz already getting a bit of advantage over that Red Bull livery Skip Barber car, and I think really it looks like DeVos is going to be eliminated when we get back to the line.
Yeah, well, I think we will get ourselves a 1 lap grace period as we did last season, so we'll keep an eye out on that. They're too wide down though in the middle part of your pack. We've got a driver off the track. That is Seymour Harding, and that will put him right into contention at the rear end of your field. Harding on the outside, Simon Schultz on the inside. This will be the battle in a couple laps time to see who stays in the race pool, but we've got some nice 2 wide action going on up and down through your field, as you can see there. Number 57 machine of Luis Quintana just working himself past Sahim Atanides.
And DeVos has been eliminated, so we didn't get a lap's grace, so that's it. So the battle for that last final spot between Schultz and Seymour Harding. Harding's got back past Schultz, so if Schultz is going to stay in this race, he's got to make a move now down into the Parabolica. He's got the draft, but Harding's got the draft from the whole pack in front of him, so it's going to be interesting. Will he just throw it down the Side Schultz, will you make a move? No, not this time. Is Schultz leaving it until the exit of the Parabolica? He's run a bit wide, he's going off the track, so that's not the greatest exit. I think Schultz is going to be eliminated.
He will be indeed there. Second, he pushed onto that drain pipe and the asteroid turbo on the exit of the Parabolica. That was it. It was game over. Simon Schultz has been eliminated from this motor race in P number 19. He will stay. Now it's Harding. Harding's going to have to get himself back into contention. Rob Adams is just ahead of him. Of course, Harding put himself into this position, Adam, because of the fact he pushed wide at the Parabolica himself just 2 laps ago.
Yeah, and we were saying earlier, you just didn't want to put too much out there and end up losing a whole load of positions, and that's what Harding's done, but it's not over for him yet. He has got pretty close to the back of the car, and the cars in front of him are now starting to battle. The number 9 and number 74 car going at it into the Parabolica. Down the inside goes the number 9 of Rob Adams, battling with Greg Seitz, and out of the final corner, can Harding do anything? Just too far away. I think he's not going to get enough of an advantage to get alongside the 74 car as we come across the line.
Nope, so that means that it will be Seymour Harding eliminated here as they go 2 wide ahead of him. This is going to be a fascinating one to watch then. The next lap or so, this is Rob Adams and Greg Seitz who will be going side by side in towards that first corner. So let's have a look. Rob Adams in the number 9 red and yellow car. Greg Seitz is in the blue and yellow number 74 car. Then ahead of him, you've got Luke Whitten in P15, Bill Fraser in 14th, Barry Morrison 13th, Felipe Leiber in 12th spot, Luis Quintana in 11th, Tahim Artinides is in 10th. It's one of those few times of the year, Adam, that I've got to count the opposite way from what I'm normally doing. As you can see, Leiber, to the front end of your screen, moving himself past Barry Morrison.
Yeah, very, very interesting job indeed. Usually motor racing's always about who finished first, but now we're just focusing on who is finishing in last position. And I'll tell you who is right now, Rob Adams. He's coming to the line in that last position. He is going to be the next car eliminated.
Yep, Rob Adams is out of this motor race. Greg Seitz, well, he's got a chance because of the fact that Luke Whitter and Bill Fraser going side by side. 2 drivers going side by side in towards turn 1. It just batches this back up just a little bit, and this allows Seitz now to have one more shot to try and get himself up. And I don't think Robert Adams has realised yet that he's been eliminated from this race there, Paul. Now
I think he's just really realised now. Yeah, he was busy racing them. So, but that's a tricky thing. When you're racing a guy that close in front of you, do you notice that you've been disqualified? Because it's very eliminated. Sorry, shall we say? You know, it's intense. You're concentrating on that car. You know, you may miss that message.
There's a lunge for Seitz. Will he be able to make it to the line in time? It's going to be close. Seitz is going to try and use that draft all the way down to the inside. There's going to be an attenuator there. Be careful, Seitz. He's not going to be able to do it. Seitz, I made that just about 1,000th or so of a second. I think Seitz is out. This is the second close call that we've had here today. Let's see what the gap was at the line. Adam, update me.
It was about 0.5 of a second, I think, and that's all that was in it. And
Seitz is holding up. Seitz is holding up Luke Whitten.
And he's got to realise that he's out of, and now he pulls over on the back straight. But poor Luke Whitten, he's got too much of an advantage, well, disadvantage to get to Bill Fraser in the Lotus livery car in front of him. So Luke Whitten's going to be the next car eliminated.
Yeah, that was a little bit dirty there, and I'm sure that race control will possibly issue a penalty to Seitz the next time we have one of these events, because Luke Whitten will finish in P number 15. Nothing that he could have done there. Well, not now, but of course in the last lap they went side by side. Yes, it was close racing, but you don't get ultra aggressive like that. You don't be a sore loser. It will be Whitten then out of the event. He will be classified in P number 15 ahead. 2 wide.
Barry Morrison just went past 2 cars into turn 1, tried to make it a
car upside down. That's Michelle Mancusi. Michelle Mancusi.
And it happened. He had a huge wreck in the last Eliminator race at the Monza Full Circuit, and he's had another one here tonight.
Wow.
And a safety car is being deployed.
Yeah, you'd imagine for that big wreck, you would imagine that it would be. Let's have a look then. On board Michelle Mancusi, they're almost 4 wide in towards turn 1. What happened to number 36 machine? Exit of turn 1. Flipped. He got helped around there. There is the number. Was that the number 2 machine of Jose Blanco? Yeah, upside down and around there. Thanks for the physics there, Michelle Mancusi. Unfortunately, it's going to be classified as out of the event. That was Jose Blanco involved in that one, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what, from the aftermath of that, Philip Leber has got some damage as well. He got caught up with people trying to avoid that flipped car, so it'll be interesting to see if he comes to pit road. No, he stays out, but bit of damage to that front end, and yeah, that could affect Philip. He's down near the back of this pack. It's a small pack now.
Yep, 13 drivers.
Yeah. Brilliant line. He was, the guy lunging down the inside of Mancusi going through the left-hander. 3 wide into that left-hander. Well, really.
Yeah, you don't do that. That's as about as... I've seen some crazy things here on the ISN.com service. That is probably one of the crazy ones, as you can see. Philippe Leber's car. Now, the side of it looks okay. We're just trying to pay attention then to the front end of the car. And you'll just notice, try and circle it for your front end, right about there. That's where the issue is. For Philippe Leber, he might just get a new front wing. Now, it'll be interesting to see if anyone comes on towards pit road this time by. We've got 13 drivers in the event now. Bill Fraser is in 13th, Lewis Quintana in 12th, Philippe Leber in 11th, Barry Morrison is in P number 10. Let's have a look. Anyone coming on towards the pit road? I expect maybe.
Oh.
No one. Everyone seems to be good for fuel. We say that now. If you're going to do it, you do it now, Paul. You don't wait until 5 cars are left. I'm going to have to work yourself through a load of cars. Unless you want to play mind games.
well, you I know you enjoy the mind games every now and again, but you would think you'd take the fuel now. You're under safety car. The race has been neutralised. It means that you can get onto the back of the pack and then make your moves up again. But that's if your setup feels right and if the car feels right, that you're able to push. If you're not able to push and you're just hanging on, then maybe it's best to stay out.
Agreed. As we can see there, this is Clark Williams. He is technically your middle placed driver with all the drivers that are remaining. He is in P number 6. Cycle that camera around. Catholic Pie just behind him. And this is what we're getting into now. There's a lot of 2K World Cup regulars. One that we've seen many a time before. Farah also. Clark Williams, Catholic Pie, Fahim Atanides, Paul Malocas, Philippe Leber, Bill Fraser. And make that half the car are 2K World Cup regulars. There is the opportunity to be granted a wild card if you will complete the event in the top 20 with no actual incident. Let's do the tyre warming and everything, and the lights are back on the pace car, Adam.
Yes, and I wonder what this is for. I wonder if people have realised that they're not going to make it, and have asked race organisers to throw another safety car just so they can do a pit stop. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Well, the race drivers are asking on the chat if they can fuel, so I wonder if we're going to see some cars this time come into the pits.
Well, maybe they're just listening to RaceSpotTV's broadcast here today. Maybe for the first time there's like, oh, guys.
The voices of common sense, Will.
Yes. I don't think anyone's ever used common sense and my name in the same sentence. And note the date down, 12th of September 2015. There you can see, well, you say that.
Oh, one car.
Woohoo! Then there was a damage to a wing to that car as well, I believe. I'm just trying to figure out who that was. I believe it might be Fahim Atanides. By the looks of it, let's have a look. Yeah, he's the slowest driver. Yes. Fahim Atanides is on towards pit road. So there we can see. He's going to get himself a wing change by the looks of it. Rear wing change, but there you can see the number 8 Red Bull car. I'm so used to saying for Force India. But there he is there, getting himself a new wing sorted out. Getting himself a little bit of gas as well. Out of the way. 6.6 seconds, Adam.
Yeah, quick splash and go for him. And he will be back onto the pits and should be in last position. However, for him, Antonides, he was inside the top 10. Going to be interesting to see if he is the only car to have made a pit stop under this safety car, because he will be a man possessed when the green flag comes back on.
And he can be a man possessed at the best of times anyway. And anyone who's a regular of the 2K World Cup will know that one. Now, Michelle Mancusi technically was never eliminated, Adam.
Well, he caused the safety car, but he wasn't last place when it was thrown, so he's been granted a lifeline here. And with 2 of those Skivvy regulars at the back of this pack when the racing goes back to green, Now this has definitely spiced up the racing somewhat.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting run. Panning towards turn number 1 in a moment's time. There is Michelle Mancusi.
Giving a wave around.
Yeah, so they're going to keep the pace car lights on for another lap then, surely, because they try and give them as much time as possible. Indeed, the lights are still on the pace car.
Got close to Mancusi.
Oh. He's always careful because you don't know what to do, whether to go higher or go low. I'm actually having a look at the speed as well. Mancusi is going at twice the speed of the field, so he should just catch them in time. I think there's the thing that you've got to make here as well, Paul. Yes, it's nice to give drivers a wave round, but my God, they need to push it. They can't take the time getting back to the pacing line.
I've actually crashed from having a wave around because I've been that on it, that concentrating that hard on just trying to get to the back of the pack that yeah, lost control of the car. So if somebody with as little talent as me can do that, then maybe these guys can keep it on the track.
Apparently, I've just seen a video of Lewis Hamilton singing in a nightclub. That's going to be entertaining to watch a little bit later on. So yeah, 14 drivers are currently in this field. The lights are off on the ISO.com first safety car. Don't forget, a new season of the Skip Barber 2K World Cup starts next Sunday. Yes, Sunday is football day. It's also Skippy Racing Day. Catch it every Sunday night, and that is from 8 PM GMT on your home of the world's best sim racing event. That is RaceSpotTV. Or in other words, another 13 weeks of listening to that same kind of like fake techno music. But hey, here we are, 14 drivers. Lights are off. They are staying off. Michelle Mancusi might just make it to the pace line. He's got to get a move on. Got to get a move on, but he will just about do it. That was some nice warm tyres. I remember Kurt Busch actually did something at a Daytona race many years ago when actually just breezed past the entire field because he had so much overspeed. Mancusi actually needs to get it going, otherwise he won't catch up to the rear in time. Oh, he's actually going to do that. I think he's waiting for the perfect opportune moment to just blitz himself past this field.
Yeah,
we're going to ride this one on board with him, and it's not going to work for him. He tried it. You need to have more speed coming out of the Parabolica. The green flag will come out any moment now. Well, Mancusi tried, and you've always got to remember, which side can I overtake him? Mancusi, green flag in the air, him and Atenida scrapping it out for last position as they come down in towards turn number 1, Paul.
Yes, and looking down the inside already, it's a man on the mission here because he wants to get back up to the front of that pack. He wants to be battling out for the win of this race. And yeah, he's through past the number 8 car.
Yeah, that's Atenides now down to last position. Bill Fraser, Lewis Quintana are the next 2 victims on the list. And if you're Bill Fraser, you've got 2 very fast drivers coming up behind you. You've got to at least try and hold off those 2, whilst at the same time, Adam, trying to move forward yourself. And that's going to be a big task now for Fraser.
Yeah, Fraser's got 2 fast Skip Barber kart drivers in his mirrors. He should be able to hold on now, I think. Down the inside though goes Antonides, and he's out of control, and that's him definitely eliminated. The Red Bull racing car is facing the wrong way in Parabolica. Michelle Mancusi lives to fight for another lap.
Yeah, let's get ourselves another look at that one. Fahim Antonides just pushing a little bit too hard in towards the Parabolica. We have got a Battlefield race lead, by the way. Giglio Gomez and Orion Bonnet. But let's have a look. This is down into the Parabolica. You can just see as they're going to work themselves behind the trees.
Oh,
right
we've got
now.
a crash here. Somebody in the wall. Who was that?
Giglio Gomez, and that was in the battle for the race lead.
And he's out. He's got severe damage, and he's in the tyre barrier on the exit of the junior layout, and he is out.
Yeah, let's get ourselves another look at that one then. We just saw the back end of the incident for Atenides. I won't lie, it wasn't the best camera angle I've ever seen. But Giglio Gomez then moved himself to the front of the field. How hot was he into turn number 1? Does it? He just overcooked it. Just overcooked it there, went onto the grass. From that point, you're always a passenger. Giglio Gomez out of the event. And then, after that, there were 12. Bill Fraser at the rear of the field. Yes, Adam.
Yeah, Bill Fraser, the last one. So Mancusi has to overtake a car a lap. And with now Bill Fraser eliminated, Mancusi's got a bit of work to do on this lap to get to Lewis Quintella. Oh, crash in front. And that's going to help Mancusi out a little bit. 2 cars off. Barry Morrison and Paul Maloka's involved.
Yep, so we might get a caution for that one. We'll try and figure it out. It looks like we're staying green for the time being. Paul Malocas, Barry Morrison in towards turn number 1. This is right around Felipe Burt as well. Let's have a look, figure out what happened to these two drivers. They worked themselves down front straight away, though. We're going to go too wide there. Number 13 Machine on the left-hand side of the track. Number 41 on the right-hand side. They then go 3 wide with Felipe Burt. Oh, just running into the rear of the number 13 car. Goes to number 41 Machine at Barry Morrison. That one was clumsy, Paul.
Yeah, just not expecting the braking point to be so soon, and yeah, just got into the back of it, and that's ruined both of their races and their chances of winning this race.
Well, yeah, and you know your car's bad when you can actually see the actual driving. You can tell it's bad when it's that circumstance there, Adam.
Yeah, indeed, and Mancusi gets another position out of as a result of more contacts. He is definitely working his way up. He's up to 9th place now. Next car on his hit list is Luis Quintela. Can he catch him in time? This is the battle. This is basically the battle now for the race win. All the cars in shot have a shot of winning this race. However, Mancusi, I think he's going to have to throw a dive bomb into the parabolic if he's got any chance of trying to stay in this race.
Yeah, let's have a look then. This is Michel Mancusi. Nah, he's not quite close enough. He needs to get a lot of momentum out of this corner. There's the gap. It's half a second as they work themselves on the exit of the corner. Now, technically, Paul Malocas is the last driver in the event. That gives Mancusi 1 lap to gain half a second. Mancusi can do that one. Surely, Paul.
Well, you'd think so, but it's, as you get further up the field, it gets harder and harder to overtake because all these drivers there
Look at the battle up front. Sorry, I was just saying, look at the battle.
He's been disqualified.
Been disqualified, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, too wide. Yeah, too wide, Paul.
Wow.
Yeah, too wide through that tight section. That's impressive to see those cars going too wide through that tight section. But with these cars, they're a little bit smaller, so yeah, they can do that.
There you can see Mancusi rear of the field pulling off. We're down now to 10 drivers. 2 wide. Battle for the race lead in towards the Parabolica. Number 94 car, Orion Bonnet, down to the inside of Jose Blanco. Ricardo Farah there in the mix as well. Exit Parabolica. I think it's time for us to go 3 wide here on RaceSpotTV. Gonna look then from our aerial coverage. They come down in towards turn 1. Left hand side of your screen, there's a TNT racing car. But now you're gonna get Ricardo Farah looking all the way down to the left hand side. No, he'll wait in line just for one more moment. Down in towards the first corner they come again. Now it will be Luis Quintana going to be classified as out of the event. And the battle now is between Karthik Pai and Felipe Burt. They will go side by side through this X section of the racetrack. And now it could well be Le Burt, the next driver, to be eliminated from today's event as Le Burt's off.
Yeah, he came so close to hitting that tyre barrier there. Harry doesn't seem to have lost too much speed. He's still got that slipstream of Karthik Pai in front of him. 2 wide, battle for the race lead as well.
Yeah, here's Felipe Burt. It's going to have to be a late manoeuvre from him. Also, I don't think Le Burt will have enough. He's in P number 7. Don't forget, yes, you get the slipstream. So does every other driver in this pack right now. So Felipe Burt is going to be the next driver eliminated. 7 drivers there were at the start of this lap. We are now down to 6. After this elimination, we will have ourselves what we call a gentleman's caution. 3 wide in towards turn number 1, Paul.
It's just a fantastic race now. I'm absolutely loving this. Everyone's getting more and more desperate now. They're all trying to get that top 5 position so they don't get eliminated and so they can be a part of that end of race shootout. And well, they're still going at it, and Le Burt is still there.
Yeah, Le Burt is still there. I think the reason why is because Guillermo Gomez has rejoined the race and they go 3 wide. This is the battle for the rear end of your field. We ride ourselves along board with Felipe Burt. 3 wide into the Parabolica. Well, that does work in Skip Barber cars, only if you all hold your line. 1, 2, 3. Loser of this one for the time being is going to be number 6 car of Karthik Pai. But no, now Williams is at the rear end of that pack. But it's going to be a drag race to the start-finish line. Who will get it? Well, I think Williams was the one who just lost out there.
Yeah, Williams was definitely the car that was last out of those 3 across the line. So Karthik Pai and Philip Burt continue to battle. They've got one more lap to try and not get in that last place position. However, who was that red and white car running out wide through turn 1? That was Jose Blanco. But now he's going to back this pack up. And now we could have a similar situation once again as we head into the Parabolica.
Yeah, there you can see Felipe Burr going to go all the way down to the inside, trying to use a side draft there over Karthik Pai. Now, Pai might get boxed in here with the number 2 car. The issue is, though, Pai had himself a bit of a tow from the number 2 car, something Felipe Burr didn't have. Into the Parabolica, they come. Once again, almost touching there is Karthik Pai and Felipe Burr. They will come past the start-finish line. Williams is still in this one. I think he will be eliminated in 1 moment's time. Situation looks as though it will be the same. Yes, it will be. Clark Williams just eliminated there. But now, Felipe Burr versus Karthik Pai for the 3rd lap in a row as they go side. Oh, contact! Number 12 car turned around. Bonnet hit there as well. So that will be the number 12 car, Julian Lardy, out of the event. And I believe Orion Bonnet, in your race lead, actually did just get a little bit of a tag as well. There are technically 6 drivers. Julian Lardy, well, he is going to be the last car quite clearly there in the number 12 machine because, well, he's 14 seconds off the pace. He will be eliminated this time by your top 5. They're still racing. Why are you racing at this point, boys? Because of the fact that we're going to go to caution any moment now. There's no point. Take a breather. You're fine for the time being. Bonnet's got a broken rear wing. Blanco's in the mix. Barrett's in the mix. They still go 3 wide. 5 drivers are left. You've got Ricardo Ferrer, you've got Orion Bonnet, you've got Jose Blanco, Felipe Burr, and Karthik Pai. 3 wide and then 2 wide into turn number 1. Why are they fighting right now, Sire Paul?
Who knows? They're all trying to get that position. I think the gentleman's caution has gone out the window here because they're all just the red mist has descended and they're all battling away. Some with bruised cars and yeah, it's still on.
Well, yeah, there was supposed to be.
6 thousandths of a second separated the top 3 across that line.
That was incredible. 6 1,000ths of a second. It was technically Farah from Blanco from the driver of Orion Bonnet. Bonnet's fallen down into the last position. He has got a little bit of damage. 3 wide through the Parabolica. They will come. It looks like that Bonnet will be the one held out to dry there. He's got himself the issue. The rear wing. He got himself involved in the contact. Karthik Pai versus Felipe Burr. Lap number 5 in a row. They've gone side by side. Bonnet is out of the race. And now the caution comes out.
Philip Burr, he's been on the bubble about the last 5 laps and somehow he's able to do something, or some circumstances have helped him to avoid getting disqualified. Fantastic job from him so far. But yeah, Bonnet, who was first when we restarted this race, that damage seems to have wounded him substantially and now he is down in 5th position for now, but I think he will probably be the car that's going to be eliminated when we go back green. However, with the racing we've seen, he could be in 1st by the end of the next lap when we go back green.
This is what's going to happen. Bonnet's going to come on towards pit road. He'll get himself a new rear wing. From that point, he's back in the race. Any one of these 5 drivers, they could very easily win it. Jose Blanco, Ricardo Ferrer, Karthik Pai, Felipe Burr, Orion Bonnet. They are your 5 drivers that are going to go through to the final 5-lap shootout here on RaceSpotTV. We're going to go side by side very quickly. We'll be back for the final 5 laps after this message.
rocks on the outside, contact made. 56 slides it at a 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Never miss a moment with RaceSpotTV side by side. We're actually going to get some salt and pepper and give it to Orion Bonnet because he had to push it real good to get it back into the pacing line. But Jose Blanco leads the way. Ricardo Farah second, Catholic Pie in third, Felipe Burn fourth, and Orion Bonnet rounding out your top 5. It's that final shootout. I guarantee this is not the way they're going to finish today's event. Jose Blanco then going to bring the field back to green flag racing. 5 minutes left worth of action. Anything can happen here. Bear one thing in mind. You got 2 teammates in this field. Number 15 car Ricardo Farah and the number 6 car of Carfrick Pie. They could work together. Green flag back in the air. Here we go then for the final time. And well, Orion Bonnet just completely missed that restart, Adam.
Yeah, not good from him, and he's got a new car practically. He fixed the rear wing under the safety car, and he hasn't been able to make much use of it. We'll see what he can do into the Parabolica, but it looks like, oh, he's closed right back onto the back of Philip Leibert, just as I was saying that. Here we go down to the Parabolica. Can Bonnet get that slipstream done as it's all going frantic now?
Yep, here comes Bonnet. He's going to have 3 tenths per second to gain up in the space of 1 corner. Battle for the race lead, that's between Farah and Blanco. So let themselves down into the Parabolica. They are 2 wide, 2 deep, with Bonnet there at the rear as well. Oh, but this is going to where things have become interesting. Bonnet is going to have himself the long way to go. I don't think he's going to make it. Ladies and gentlemen, there were then 4 because Orion Bonnet won't make it to the start-finish line in time. He is eliminated, Paul.
Oh, it's really tough on him. He went to the pits as they're battling for 4th now. Leibert and Catholic Pie going together. Oh, we're getting a bit close now.
Those 4 drivers separated by 4 tenths per second on the racetrack. Anything can happen between these 4 drivers. They are slip sliding around, and at the moment it's Catholic Pie at the rear end of this field. 4 drivers are remaining. That means you've got a total of 3 laps to go, and they're going to go 3 wide in the battle for a race lead into the final corner. It is going to be Leibert in the middle. It is going to be the driver Blanco on the inside. Outside it's going to be Ricardo Farah, and the winner of that battle for the time being will be Blanco as they win themselves. Oh, look at this, though. It's going to be anyone here. Set the finish camera up. Anything can happen.
Oh, almost got that.
Just like Indy a couple of years ago in the Indy Lights race, they are 4 wide
Blanco.
as they come past the start
Blanco.
finish line. It's Blanco who, get this, 29, so I'll take that back, 95 1,000ths of a second separating 4 drivers, 29 1,000ths of a second separating the top 3. Blanco loses out, but from now on in, anything can happen, Adam.
Yeah, 200ths of a second separated the top 3 in the last Eliminator round we did at the Monza Full Circuit, and 200ths of a second separated the top 3 there. Here we go then, down towards the Parabolica. Leibert in second. In third it is Carfrick Pie, and at the front, in third it's Farrier, and at the front it is Carfrick Pie. Into Parabolica, Will. Who is going to be the car eliminated this time?
I've got a feeling the 2 teamies might work it together. Here comes Ricardo Farah. He looks like he will have the advantage. Leibert's going to try and do the undercut as they work themselves to the start-finish line. Who will it be? They're going to be 3 wide as they come to the stripe, but Leibert loses out. The 2 teammates will battle it out for the final lap of this race. Carfrick Pie versus Ricardo Farah, and they've been teammates all day long. Not anymore. Game on between these 2 drivers. In towards turn 1 they come. Now, it's time to play the game we like to call sitting duck. Carfrick Pie. Now, they both spin. Oh, look at that as it just came for the camera. They're both going again. But Carfrick Pie almost then ended the race of his teammate Ricardo Farah This is where things are going to get crazy. I think that might have just given it, though, to Ricardo Farah. Here they come into the Parabolica, and Pi is going to look to the outside as they come down into the final corner. One more lap to go. Who is it going to be? Set the photo finish cameras up again, as here we are. Carthage Pi with a late lunge to the outside. Who would it be? Oh, Pi! That's like Minardi, 1993. Ricardo Farah wins it. Carthage Pi almost mounting his teammate like a Minardi did in 93. Ricardo Farah is your winner. Adam, what a race.
Oh, nearly vaulted over the top of him there. My word. Teammate, you call them teammates? What a fantastic battle between those two there. Ricardo Farah taking it in the end by 1/10 of a second. And what a final lap. What an eliminator in race. It's great to see this every week routine. And Monza Junior circuit, we were having our doubts about it before we came on air, Will, but I think this circuit did it justice tonight.
Yeah, we saw the first of those two moments. Ricardo Farah, basically four tyre drift through what is technically turn number 3 on the racetrack. That backed up Carthage Pi. Pi then looked to the outside as they came down into the Parabolica. Just couldn't get their momentum on the outside of the corner. But then as they lunged to the line, I think Carthage Pi just misjudged the point that he was going to come across. There we are, he was thinking about it. There he was, didn't make it work. I think that was Farah's race anyway, regardless. But Carthage Pi comes home in second place. Ricardo Farah wins it. What a win. What a way to win it. Let's go look at your final race results. Well, there you can see there's plenty of DNFs. There's one who's not, and that is Ricardo Farah in, well, what has been an entertaining race. Number 15 car claims victory here today. Carthage Pi second, Felipe Bert in third, Jose Blanco fourth, Iron Bonnet in fifth, and Lardy, Williams, Quintana, Mancusi, and Malokas round out your top 10. We cycle the rest of the results up on your screen, as you can see. P number 11 through 20 are coming up. Some big names lost at various points of today's race. Whilst you have the opportunity, we'll talk to a couple of them. First of all, the driver who came home in third place, Felipe Bert. I'll tell you one thing, Felipe. For about 5 laps, you were on the bubble with Carthage Pi, and every time, you just got to get a little bit of luck before that caution.
You mean luck? Did I have luck? Or I didn't understand.
Yeah, she had a mixture of luck and incredible driving.
Oh yeah, I was lucky a few times. Yeah, but I was surprised that I could even get back in the top 5, because I was almost dead last at the beginning, because I was involved in an accident at the start. But yeah, it was a great race. I think it's a great track for this kind of event.
Indeed, indeed. Talk us through the last couple of laps, because of course you're able to survive the first couple of them. Then it was you and 2 positive sim racing cars, Ricardo Farah and Carthage Pi. At that point, did you know that it's probably going to be you who was left out to dry in that final run to the flag?
Well, I had hopes, but I went to the outside before Parabolica, and at the moment I went, I knew I was lost. I couldn't get by them, because they were taking each other's draft, and there was no way past. So I just made a mistake, a strategic mistake or tactic mistake. I don't know what the correct name is, but it could have been any one of us who won it. So.
Well, Felipe Bert just showing off there the fact that on a racetrack lap that's only 58 seconds long, with it that close, one mistake can be the difference between you being on the bronze medal position on the podium or you being on the top step. And of course, though, Felipe, another 12-week season, let's get Barber 2K World Cup starts next week.
Yeah, and we're going to start on an oval this time, so we'll have one oval race every season, and it will start at Motegi for the first race on the oval, so that will be exciting.
For the record, I have done that track and car combination. It's incredible. You will see people going 7 wide into turn number 1 and 2, turn 3 and 4. That's going to be a little bit more difficult. Bleep Labour, thank you very much for talking to us. Very quickly, we've got the word. I'm trying to have a word with the Aussie himself. So Orion Bonnet, TNT Racing, P5. It was close. Of course, you got yourself the lifeline there, getting yourself the new wing. But you just didn't have the speed on the restart to get you a chance to fight for the race victory here today.
Yeah, that was quite an exciting race. Actually, I didn't know I didn't have a wing. That was actually a pit stop for fuel, and I think the fast repair came in handy.
Well, you led 11 laps here today. On one hand, you got to be pretty happy with that. On the other hand, you got to be a bit disappointed that your race came to an end just 4 laps early.
Well, I'll give you a little inside secret. I was really thrilled with being up front for the vast majority of the race. I didn't expect it, and so I didn't plan fuel that way. I knew with all the cautions that we were having toward the end that I would have to pit because I was very marginal. Actually, during the last caution, my last pit, to just have a couple liters of fuel added to the car, in my eagerness to go into the pits with the pit lane open, I must have passed Philippe, and so I inherited a black flag that I would have ruined it anyway. So I was doomed for 5th from the moment that I went into the pits.
Well, you get P5 here today. A new season of the Skip Barber 2K World Cup starts in a week's time. We're going to see any appearances from you this season?
I sure hope so. I had a good season 2. I took this summer off pretty much from iRacing, and finishing here 5th in this fantastic event organized by Philip. It's a little bit of a confidence boost that I needed to get back into the saddle in S4.
Well, thank you very much for having a word with us. Adam, final thoughts?
Well, Skip Barber Racing, it never ceases to amaze, does it? So many leagues on the iRacing server. Skip Barber 2K Cup. Great to have it back next season. The Eliminator rounds once again at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza, putting on a fantastic show. Great race.
And then, Paul, we kick off a new season of the Skip Barber 2K World Cup at the egg-shaped oval that basically is one of the most fun tracks to drive on. Of course, if you're ESPN, you only recall one fact, and that happened in 2008.
Yeah, it's a hell of a to start the season, and as they say, it's gonna bring on some fantastic side action. Promised to be a good season. If we're gonna get racing like that today, then it really is going to be good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes a very busy day of racing here on RaceSpotTV. Don't forget, if you missed any action from round number 14 of the iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series, you can check that one out on the iRacing.com YouTube page. That's a special presentation of RaceSpotTV on iRacing Live. That kicked off today's coverage. That was a very entertaining race, as we for the first time got the World Championship drivers using the dynamic track capabilities. Then we headed ourselves over to Texas Motor Speedway to honour Justin Wilson, the Justin Wilson 150. That also was a pretty incredible race, as we saw Ray Alfano head himself to IndyCar victory lane. Yep, he's often been to the NASCAR Peak Anti-Free Series victory lane, but never has he done so at Texas Motor Speedway in an IndyCar. Mainly because, in fact, he never raced an IndyCar at Texas before today. And then finally, we've had ourselves an incredible race here in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup Eliminator here at Monza, which has seen passing, action, excitement, frustration, and even the odd firework or two. But that means week 13 is almost done. We've only got ourselves one more event, and that's tomorrow, the Gathering of Tweakers Endurance event. And of course, that will be here on RaceSpotTV. Then we've got ourselves, well, another season of the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. That starts next Sunday. And yeah, we're going to head ourselves to Twin Ring Motegi. It's a track that Honda came up with because they wanted to test IndyCars. They wanted to test how they ran on both an oval and on a road course. So they built a track that was 2-in-1. It actually is one of the few ovals in the world that doesn't have the road course actually connected to it. But the egg-shaped oval is incredibly unique, and you'll find out why next week, because we will see 6 and 7 wide racing. It will be fast, it will be exciting, and you can catch all the action here on your home of the world's best sim racing events. That is RaceSpotTV. I've been Will Vinson, that's been Paul Smith and Adam Barth, and we So I'll talk to you all next time. Good night.